Welcome back to my channel. I am Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and I do videos on a wide range of subjects. And today we're going to be talking about politics because we're not ready yet. I don't think we're ready yet, folks. The Trump administration, the Trump organization, not the administration, the organization, his business organization is getting charged with criminal charges, likely due to tax evasion. And that's not really worthy. We're going to get there. I promise you, we're going to get there. But it's as if the last time I talked to you guys about my spirit guides. And by the way, if you're new here, thank you. Welcome. Please subscribe. Really appreciate that. I get downloads from my own spirit guides while I'm doing these videos. It's kind of a soft or a light channel that happens to me. And I never know when I'm going to do a video because my guides, basically, I'm eating cereal in the morning. And my guides say, do a video, do a video, do a video. And then they start dropping information to me that, because I don't watch a lot of news, it doesn't always make sense. But I'm going to pull some things together from some sources that I've seen and read. And that's what happens. Sometimes I'll read an email or I'll read something by somebody or see something and I'll have more information, right? So whatever that particular email or video is about, I will get downloaded more information about that subject. So first of all, and I really want to make this quick. First of all, I want to talk about Weisselberg. He's not going to flip, guys. He's not going to flip. His choices are, oops, I fell off the balcony. Or, oops, that Big Mac I just ate has poison in it. How did that happen? I don't know, right? His choices are that or go to jail, right? And not only him falling off a balcony, but several family members falling off a balcony before he does. So he's not going to flip. He knew this from the very beginning. There's a reason that he only met with the former guy by himself. Okay, they met by themselves. They didn't even meet with anybody else. As the chief financial officer, the accountant of the Trump organization, Weisselberg and Trump met alone. Now, can you imagine? We can't imagine. We know what we're dealing with here, but obviously the former guy is also keeping things from his children. He's not even allowing his own children to be in these meetings. Now, you might think, if you were a really awesome person, that, oh, he's shielding his children from becoming maybe a target of a criminal investigation. But we know that's not the case. We know the case is that he wanted all this money for himself. And he didn't want his kids to even know how much money he had or where everything was at because he wanted to control it. So you have a guy like Weisselberg. He can't flip on Trump. Listen, guys, he's going to do a couple of years for tax evasion. Even if he does 4 years in a white-collar prison somewhere, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to your whole family living, right? We're not talking about hardened, criminal crime here. We're talking about club fed. So, it's an easy thing. He's taking the fall. As a matter of fact, the guides are telling me right now, it's a bit of a red herring. This whole charging the Trump organization is a bit of a red herring, or at least Weisselberg and Trump think it is, because obviously there's a lot of criminal things that could be investigated and happening over here. Meanwhile, the tax thing is going the other direction. Now, I have to tell you guys that, and I said it last time, the guides said it last time, nobody's a dummy here. Biden is not a dummy, right? The FBI, CIA, they're not dummies. They know what's going on. As they mentioned last time, the CIA and the FBI were actually investigating Trump all the way through his presidency on the down low. I mentioned it in the last video that I literally saw FBI agents working out of their basements in their off time, sending this information to Obama. He's a previous president. He's got access to that, and Obama was sharing it with Biden, right? So they know what's up, but they have, it's a chess game. There's quite a bit of strategy going on here. And we don't always see the whole big picture, right? So it looks futile to us, right? It looks silly. Why are we doing this little tax thing when we could be really investigating something else? There's a plan. There's a plan. It's going to work. We're going to get to deploy this. There's a plan. Don't worry. But I wanted to say that about Weisselberg because they were telling me that this morning. He's always been the fall guy. This has always been the plan. This is a plan that they had they planned this decades ago, that this is what will go down for, and it's like a controlled explosion or a controlled burn. We plan to go down this way. And then theoretically speaking, we'll get off. Like Trump University got off, the charity that they stole money from cancer kids. So what? You can't do charities anymore. Bad, Trump. Bad kids. Really? So yes, they think this is going to happen. They think that they're going to throw Weisselberg in Club Fed and everybody's going to be fine. Because this is the way they've lived their lives. This is the way they've lived their lives. It's not. It's not going to happen. I'm here to tell you right now, mark this day, July 1st, 2021, that he's going down. Trump is going down. His kids are going down. They're going to prison. Now, will they make it or will they get Epsteined? I don't know. It's quite possible. It's very, very possible because they're expendable by certain people, right? So, but they are going to go down. They're not going to be superpowers. He's not going to come back. That's all done. It's done, okay? It's just a matter of the chess game. Checkmate. We have to get there, right? We just have to let everybody play their pieces. They make a move, we make a move. They make a move, we make a move, okay? Because we play by the law. Trump would just throw the whole game upside down and walk away, right? But no, and I say we, I mean Biden, because I believe some of us, probably including me, would throw the game upside down and put him in jail. But anyway, Biden goes by the law. Okay, I need to talk to you about something that's really, really interesting, okay? I'm just basically going to be giving you guys pieces of the puzzle, okay? I've given you guys other pieces of the puzzle. I don't have the whole puzzle, but these pieces are important because this is how we got Trump. It happened so slowly, right? The religious right takes over, then the tax, all these different groups, and then the NRA, they keep pushing us to the right, degree by degree by degree by degree. You can't notice it when it's happening. It seems so small that it doesn't really warrant anybody to really think about it or react. But if you look back 5 years, that's a big move to the right. That was a big move to get us towards Trump, right? These court cases in the states to limit voting. It's on tape, a Texas political official saying Texas would have gone blue had they not scrubbed all the voter rolls and thrown out so many voters that went to the poll and all of a sudden couldn't vote. Texas would have gone blue. So you see, guys, this is why these little puzzle pieces are important. For you guys that are keeping score and have your little puzzle laid out on the dining room table and are putting pieces in, this is for you. I want to first of all quickly talk about Operation Legend. I have talked about it before. It is an obscure puzzle piece, but it's important, I think, because for one thing, my guides will not let it go. They will not let it go. It's constantly coming up into my consciousness. Operation Legend was started by Barr when he was Attorney General, and as everything they do, it's cloaked in goodness. It's got a cloak of goodness. A young boy was killed in St. Louis, and it was violent crime. And so Barr, of course, we must do something about the violent crime. This little boy, his last name was Legend. He was killed, and we have to react. We have to do something. We have to save the children, right? All this BS. Meanwhile, people are getting killed. Kids are getting killed every day, but he didn't care until this very second, right? This was the summer before the election, okay? They put through Operation Legend, and what Operation Legend does is it allows the government, i.e. Barr, to deputize, I've talked about this last time, but I'm going to add another component to it, to deputize local police officers as federal police officers. Okay, why does that matter? Because federal police officers, when they arrest you, you're arrested for a federal crime, not a local state crime. So if you're at a protest, a peaceful protest, and you're walking down the sidewalk, and a federal officer grabs you and arrests you, it's not going to be a misdemeanor, as all the other protesters got misdemeanors. Everyone, the judges just kept throwing them out or giving them misdemeanors. That's not going to happen. You're now charged with a federal crime. You now go way up the chain, and your bill goes way up the chain. Your life goes down the drain. Okay? So I became aware of this because Barr went to a very small community outside of my community that is in an all-white land, of course, and deputized a couple of their officers in a very small police department. And the police department was so excited, they put it on their Facebook page, and I saw it because a friend of mine shared it. And I thought, what in the hell is Barr doing here in this little town deputizing police officers? So I started watching him. And by the time he got to the third small police department in the country, all the pages started getting scrubbed. All the information of wherever Barr had been was taken down off of all the social media. So none of the police departments shared it anymore. It all went dark. So why? That's big red flag, right? Also, Barr tried with LA. He tried to go to the bigger police departments, but the bigger police departments and the bigger cities are typically Democratic. And one of the things these federal officers could do is that they didn't have to have their name on their badge. And you remember when the protest was happening and those officers that we couldn't identify were arresting people, and they put tape over their badges, right? So that became a big deal. And LA said, no, we're not going to allow anybody, be they federal or, I mean, if they're working for us and we're paying their salary, they have to have their name shown. We're not going to allow them to be separate and have these separate abilities. So LA declined to be participatory in Operation Legend. And so did some other big cities. That's why Barr started going to these small police departments in, small white enclaves and making them federal officers. This is a big deal, guys. This is going to come to play at some point, okay? Their fealty, their loyalty is to Trump. Their loyalty is to Barr, or maybe more to Trump. But these officers have abilities that they shouldn't have. Okay, so this is why this is important. The next thing I want to tell you is that I read this. I need to introduce somebody new to you probably. Her name is Heather Cox Richardson. She is a Boston University history professor. And during the Trump years, she started writing a daily letter to people and a recap of the news. And sometimes she kind of juxtaposes it with some history so that we get a sense of where we are. Like maybe this isn't all new. This happened then, whatever, right? But she is amazing. And she does these recaps of the news every day. She does them on Facebook, but she also has an email service that she'll send them out to you. And I'm telling you, you've got to check Heather Cox Richardson out. Every day I read her. If I do nothing else, I read her letter. I'm going to read to you something, and this is why you need to read her too, because she picks up the nuances that the big news agencies don't get. Okay, and this like stood out in red to me from my guides. She in her letter from yesterday, which is today, she posts them in the middle of the night, so it comes up for today. It's about some other things about the vote of the House of Representatives to remove the statues, the Confederate statues, and about how Republicans didn't support it. But it's also about what's happening on the Texas border, and this is important, guys. I know it's Texas, but it's important for the whole country. Except for you very sane blue states. I heard about this, but this puts it in a whole new light. Okay, on June 10th, Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Arizona Governor Doug Ducey invoked the Emergency Management Assistant Compact. The Emergency Management Assistance Compact, which is an agreement that lets states send aid to each other after a governor has declared a disaster or an emergency. Okay, so what's happened is states have the ability to say, hey, Arizona, would you send me some National Guard? I have flooding. Or will you send me some National Guard? I have civil unrest. Okay? So, but they did this because Abbott declared a disaster and Ducey an emergency over the influx of migrants to the U.S. Mexican border, saying that the Biden administration is unwilling or unable to secure the border. Okay, now the truth of the matter, if you care about this, because this is where I got it, is from Heather Cox Richardson, and she's always right. She's a professor. She really takes this very seriously. There is a higher percentage of migrants coming over, but what's happening is we're literally, instead of putting them in prisons and camps and cage cells, we're sending them back over the border. We're literally turning them around and sending them back. Well, guess what? They turn around and come back again. And they're counted twice. One person counted twice. It's not, the numbers are not real. They're not being, even though DPS or the Border Patrol is saying that is correct, we're counting them twice, the news agencies isn't picking it up. And of course, Fox isn't picking it up because they want it to look like it's double the amount of people, right? So they're using these numbers, which are not correct, to create a situation down here. So, having said that, oh, and that's why they were talking about Mayorkas. Okay, well, duh. Okay, they kept talking to me about Mayorkas. So this is why. Okay, so Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas insists that having inherited a system gutted by the previous administration, Biden's team has rebuilt the necessary structures to manage migrants at the border. Nonetheless, Abbott and Ducey have called for governors of other states to send additional law enforcement personnel and equipment to arrest migrants who illegally cross the border into our territory. The letter concludes, Texas and Arizona have stepped up to secure the border in the federal government's absence. And now the Emergency Management Assistance Compact, which is states, not federal, gives your state a chance to stand strong with us. Gets more interesting. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts, and Florida Governor DeSantis have all pledged to send law enforcement to Texas and Arizona. That's how many states? Nebraska, Florida, Iowa, Arizona. 4 states are now sending their own police, troopers, equipment, tanks, whatever. They've got equipment from Homeland Security grants to Texas to the border. Okay, I'm just telling you guys. So here's the deal. They say that, okay, this is where it gets even more interesting. Oh my God. Okay, check this out. Yesterday, South Dakota governor, we know she crazy, Kristi Noem, one-upped them by announcing she is sending 50 South Dakota National Guard troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, and that billionaires Willis and Reba Johnson from Franklin, Tennessee, are paying for the troops. Okay, I should have told you to sit down before I said this. We have billionaires paying for state troops to go to the border to arrest people that are coming over the border. Now, this is where the guides come in. This is why the guides wanted me to talk to you guys. Because at the same time, Mayorkas and the feds are in charge of the border. So this is going to be a big clash between states' rights and federal rights. Texas and the feds. Who's going to win? Guys, I'm telling you, this is the thing. It doesn't seem like a big deal right now. But in 2 years, this is going to be a big deal. You're going to have billionaires paying states to send troops to Arizona and Texas to create an army that's going to protect the border. So where does the Border Patrol come in? We know that Biden fired the head of the Border Patrol. We know that's a clear sign he's trying to get control of the Border Patrol again, right? He's trying to, like Mayorkas said, we're trying to rebuild. We're trying to fix it. Meanwhile, you've got billionaires paying for a billionaire from Tennessee paying for another state to send their troopers to my state to arrest illegal aliens. Meanwhile, Trump is in Texas meeting with the Texas governor, giving a speech like he's the president. As if he's the president. This is a big deal, folks. This is a big deal. And I'm telling you guys, this is a big puzzle piece that goes in the rest of all the pieces of the puzzle. And what do we do about it? I'm not telling you this to freak you out. I'm not telling you this to make you feel like there's no hope. That is not at all what I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys, midterms are coming. And if we don't freaking get a second job to do nothing but donate to the Democratic Party or block walk or make calls or go, like in Texas, I constantly on my congressman's social media, emailing them. I'm constantly out there. We cannot let this go by without us noticing. We cannot let this go by without us standing up. Y'all, I'm like feeling some, anxiety right now from my guides, and that's not good because when they make me feel anxious, I feel like I need to jump out of my seat. So, I think that's activation energy, right? They want us to be activated. They want us to know, hey, warning, warning, warning. We have got to get control of this. Biden is trying to act within the rules, within the standards, within the institutional, even if they're not rules and laws. This is where we got screwed up. Trump realized that a whole lot of what we did was not governed by laws. It was governed by what's always been done. It's always been this way. That's because we do it that way, because every president has done it that way. Well, guess what he did? He blew the walls off of that. So now Biden is trying to put the walls back and say, we can be congenial. We can respect each other, but you have to have teeth in that now. Because if you don't have teeth, if you don't go after these people, this is what happens. We're going to have a border war between the feds and these rogue. If nothing else, let me not use the word war. Let's just say this. Have you seen those cops shows? I know you have, where the FBI comes in and then the CIA comes in and then all of a sudden the detective is off the case because the FBI comes in and then the CIA comes in. The CIA says, we trump you. You're off the case, right? So it's one of those things. It's a turf war. It's a turf war. How do we manage this turf war? And again, Biden trying to keep the lid on the pot. Trying to keep, everything's fine, blah, 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 everything's fine, blah, 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 blah. It's not fine. I know. Wall Street, everything's fine. Keep buying. Let's keep making money. Biden is actually just announced that he's expanding that rent program where if you haven't been able to pay your rent, they can't expel you, they can't evict you, and also the government's going to make the landlords good. The government's going to pay your rent for you. Biden is throwing money. He's throwing money at our economy. He's trying to keep everybody on an even keel until we can sort of ride this out. But meanwhile, these things are happening and it's going to get out. It's going to be a problem. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a big problem. We can't have billionaires paying for some state's troopers to go to another state to do something that the feds do. Anyway, I know I'm a little wound up. So, what do you do? Again, you've got to pay attention. And listen, I'm going to link Heather Cox Richardson. I'm going to link all her stuff in this description so that you can check it out for yourself. She has a free email service She has a paid email service, and she has Facebook. So you can get her information any way you want. It's really, really good. And she has on Facebook and on YouTube, she gives weekly history chats, which are phenomenal, twice a week. You can look her up on YouTube, Heather Cox Richardson. I don't know, guys. I'm a little bit wound up by this. This feels, and then you add this to Operation Legend, where you have federal agents in towns like maybe Corsicana, Texas, or, maybe a border town, that these officers, I just don't know. In and of itself, it's one piece of the puzzle. Okay, it maybe is not that big a deal. Maybe it's just a bunch of BS. Maybe they're going to go down there and stand at the border with their AKs and be like, play war. But at some point, the Border Patrol is going to have to say, somebody is going to have to say, this isn't your job. This is your state, but this is an international border. And as such, the United States federal government is in control of this international border. So back off. But see, they're pushing Biden's hand. Can you guys see it? They know. They know his weakness is he wants to keep everything calm. They know that. So they're just going to pile up stuff under his little lid of his pot, because they know that he doesn't want that to happen. Right? And how long can he keep that pot? How long can he keep the lid on the pot before it blows? They don't care. They want it to blow. They want chaos. They want him to look bad. So by the very fact that he's trying to keep this on the down low is actually not doing him any favors. It's something I've been saying for a long time. And I'll back that up by saying, I love President Biden. I think President Biden was the man for the job. I think he's divinely guided. I think he was divinely put in office, which sounds actually kind of like the Trumpers. But it's what I believe. I believe he was the right person for the job. But we're all human. And he has some learning to do on the job. And he has some learning to do in an environment that we have never experienced before. Not even during the McCarthy era did we experience something like this. This is serious. So he's going to learn, and he's going to learn maybe the hard way, like I do, and it may be public, and that's fine, and that's fine. But when it happens, at least you'll know why it happened, and you'll know how it happened. You're not going to be surprised, because you've got all these puzzle pieces that you're putting together right now. Okay, so there's some more puzzle pieces for you. Thank you so much for joining me. By the way, today is Thursday. I'm going to be on tonight live with Jen's World Tarot. We have a blast. It's fun. It's funny. We take your questions live, whether they're politics. We take some psychic questions. So if you have a psychic question that you want to get an answer to, join us. We do this at 7:30 Central Time. That is 5:30 Pacific and 8:30 Eastern. Look at me do the math. But it's on my channel, so you can just check in, join us. It's a lot of fun. It really is quite a bit of fun. And you know what? Right now, we need some fun. We need some fun in our lives. So hopefully you can join us. Listen, if you're new here, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. That really helps me personally. I really appreciate it, because Google likes that, and Google will show my video to more people who may also enjoy it. But if people don't subscribe or like it, the video doesn't get the same airtime. It doesn't get shared. Okay, so you can also make your subscriptions private. You can go into your account and just make all your subscriptions private. You can also create an alias, right? I mean, people don't use their real names on YouTube. So you don't have, and no one has to know you're following a crazy psychic, a medium. And, so anyway, I just thought I would throw that out there, because I know some people like to have their separate lives separate, Listen, I wish you guys all the best. I hope you're enjoying summer. Please get out and do some self-care. When we have a lot of negative energy around us, we need to release that energy, and then we need to bring in good energy, right? So you can bring in good energy by taking a walk in nature. If it's not too hot where you are, you can do self-care, get a massage, get Reiki, get sound healing, get reflexology, go get a makeover, right? Go get a massage. I'm going tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I have a standing appointment with a massage therapist every 3 weeks. Because if I don't do that, something else takes its place and it doesn't happen, right? So that's my self-care, okay? So self-care is really important. I hope you guys do that. One last thing, I am with Medium Kim, who has a great channel here as well, Medium Kim. We are doing a mediumship class. So if you guys are interested at all, I'll leave the link for the mediumship class below too. So, a lot going on around here, right? So you guys take care. Thank you so much for joining me today. And everything is going to be okay. All right. In the end, everything is going to be okay. Right now, we're in a mud field and we're going to just trudge right on through it. We're going to be okay. Take care, everybody. For entertainment purposes only.